I am 98 years old, and up there on the mantelpiece, between the photograph of my granddaughter's wedding and the one of my son in his Air Force uniform, there's a brass shell casing. Most people think it's a vase. My granddaughter put tulips in it once. I didn't stop her. It looks like a vase if you don't know what you're looking at. It's not a vase. It's a spent 90-millimeter round from a gun that killed a 70-ton King Tiger tank from nearly 2 miles away on a frozen morning in Belgium. December 23rd, 1944. The round left the barrel, flew for several seconds through air so cold your breath turned to ice, and hit a tank that every German crew in Europe believed was unstoppable. And the vehicle I fired it from had no roof. Let me say that again. No roof. Snow fell on my head while I loaded shells. Rain came in. Shrapnel came in. Everything came in. We fought the most feared armored vehicle in the Second World War, from a thin-skinned box with a magnificent gun and a hole where the ceiling should have been. Nobody's ever heard of the M36 Jackson. That's the part that still gets me, even now. The Shermans got the movies. The infantry got the monuments. We got frostbite and a weapon that changed the war. And then we got forgotten. Let me tell you what happened. By the winter of 1944, American armor was in trouble. Real trouble. Since Normandy, our Shermans had been dying against German Panthers and Tigers. The crews knew it. Every man who climbed into a Sherman knew the math. A Panther could kill you before you knew it was there. Its gun outranged yours. Its armor stopped your shells. And if a Panther was bad, the King Tiger was a nightmare. The King Tiger weighed nearly 70 tons. Its frontal armor was so thick that most Allied guns couldn't penetrate it at any practical range. The 88-millimeter gun it carried could destroy anything we had from over a mile away. German crews felt untouchable in those machines, and at 500 yards they were right. Nothing we had could reliably stop them. That was the belief, on both sides. American infantry saw King Tigers and ran. American tank crews saw King Tigers and prayed. The Germans saw themselves in King Tigers and smiled. Then someone at Ordnance took the chassis of an M10 tank destroyer, a proven design, fast, reliable, and mounted a 90-millimeter M3 cannon on it. The same gun they'd put on the Pershing heavy tank. A gun that could punch through armor at distances that shocked the engineers when they saw the test results. They called it the M36 Jackson. It arrived in Europe in late 1944, almost unnoticed. It didn't look like much. Thin armor, 1 inch in places. An open-top turret that invited every piece of shrapnel and every snowflake in Belgium to come inside. No glamour, no reputation. Most German officers had never even heard its name. But that gun, that 90-millimeter gun, changed everything. I was assigned to the 703rd Tank Destroyer Battalion. We got our Jacksons in the fall of '44. I remember climbing inside for the first time and looking up at the sky where a roof should have been. The loader next to me, Private Eddie Horvath from Cleveland, looked up at the same sky and said, "Well, at least we'll know when it's raining." We learned the doctrine fast. The M36 was not a tank. It was not supposed to fight like a tank. It was a sniper. You find high ground. You pick a position with long sight lines and a quick escape route. You dig in. You camouflage. You wait. And when the enemy appears at 2,000 yards, or 2,500 or 3,000, a range where he thinks he's perfectly safe, you kill him. Then you move before he figures out where the shot came from. Fire first, fire far, disappear. That was the whole doctrine. And it worked, because the 90mm gun could do something no other American weapon in the field could do in 1944. It could kill a king tiger. December 16th. The Germans launched their last great offensive. The Ardennes exploded. Snow-covered roads filled with retreating American units. Communications collapsed. German armor pushed through fog and bad weather, exactly as their planners intended. King tigers rolled through villages, crushed roadblocks, scattered infantry. Everyone said nothing could stop them. We were positioned near the Ourthe River. Orders came down simple and terrifying. Hold the line. Delay the German advance at any cost. December 23rd, near Hotten, Belgium, just after dawn. Fog hung low over the hills, frost on every tree, the kind of cold that hurts your teeth. The fog lifted, just a little, just enough. My gunner, Corporal Ray Stanton, was scanning through his optics. He stopped, didn't say a word for about 3 seconds, which is a long time when you're waiting. Then, King Tiger, ridgeline, estimate 2,800 yards. 2,800 yards. That's over 1.5 miles. Under normal rules, you don't fire at that range. You can't hit anything. The round drops too much. The wind pushes it. The target's too small. But the 90mm gun didn't follow normal rules. I loaded the round, armor piercing. My hands were numb, no gloves. Gloves made your fingers too slow on the shells. The brass was so cold it burned my skin. I rammed it home, locked the breech. Up. Stanton adjusted. Elevation. Windage. The calculations had to be perfect because we'd get one shot before they knew we existed. One shot. And then we'd either be heroes or a burning wreck. He fired. The crack was sharp and flat, different from a Sherman's gun, sharper, angrier. The round flew for several seconds. You could almost count. It struck the King Tiger's turret. For a moment, nothing happened. I thought we'd missed. Then smoke poured from the impact point. The turret froze, stopped moving. Then flames came from the engine deck, thick black smoke rising straight up in the cold air. The King Tiger was dead. A second German tank was behind it. The commander must have been watching through his optics, trying to figure out what just happened. He started scanning, looking for Shermans, looking for something he understood. He didn't find anything because we were over 1.5 miles away, in a vehicle he'd never heard of. We put another round into his hull. It didn't penetrate, but it didn't need to. The impact rocked the tank. The crew halted. They sat there, afraid to move, afraid to go forward into a killing field they couldn't see the edges of. That was the moment. Right there. The myth died. The King Tiger was supposed to be invincible. It was supposed to roll forward and nothing could touch it. And now its crew was sitting still, afraid, because something out there, something they couldn't see or identify, had just killed their lead vehicle from a range they believed was impossible. We moved, backed off behind the hill, changed position. That was doctrine. Shoot and scoot. Don't let them find you, because if they find you, 1 inch of armor won't save anyone. The next day, Christmas Eve, near Manhay, another M36 unit caught a German column on a narrow road. Pre-measured ranges, landmarks plotted. The Jacksons opened fire from nearly 3,000 yards. King Tigers hit one after another. Infantry jumped off the decks and scattered, slipping on the ice. The road turned into a graveyard of steel. Christmas Day near Cibre. A lieutenant named Weaver, 24 years old, had 2 Jacksons overlooking a frozen valley. 2 King Tigers and several Panthers came through. 2,700 yards. Weaver's first round jammed the lead Tiger's turret. Second round pierced its side armor. Flames. Third round hit the second Tiger in the rear. Complete penetration. The Panthers fired back blind. Every shell fell short. Weaver's crews were already behind the hill. December 30th, near Marsh. One of the longest confirmed kills of the entire war. Firing downhill from a ridge, a stationary King Tiger at nearly 3,000 yards. First round hit the gun mantlet, bounced off. Second round found a weak angle. Third broke through the side armor. That tank burned for hours. You could see the smoke for miles. The Germans couldn't figure out what was killing them. Their after-action reports from that week are confused, frustrated, angry. Some commanders wrote that they were being engaged by a new American heavy tank. Others thought we were firing naval guns from hidden positions. The truth was simpler and worse for their pride. Thin-skinned American tank destroyers with open roofs were killing their best armor from distances they thought were safe. And we paid for it. Every time German artillery found our position, The open turret became a coffin. Airbursts sent shrapnel straight down into the crew compartment. We had no protection. Eddie Horvath, the kid from Cleveland who made the joke about the rain, took a fragment through the neck on December 27th. He bled out before we could get him to an aid station. He was 21. We slept in the vehicles, ate cold rations, frostbite on every hand, exhaustion so deep you forgot what warm felt like. But we kept shooting, because every king tiger we killed from 2 miles away meant infantry didn't have to face it at 200 yards. By New Year's Day, the momentum shifted. Allied aircraft returned. German fuel ran out. Roads clogged with wrecked king tigers, their crews dead or captured. Many of those wrecks were our work. The 90-millimeter guns' work. The Battle of the Bulge ended not with a dramatic surrender, but with a slow German retreat. Abandoned tanks stood where they died, engines cold, turrets jammed, and somewhere behind each wreck, a mile or two away, a thin-skinned box with a long gun had been waiting. I came home in 45. The Shermans got their parades. The infantry got their memorials. Nobody made a movie about the M36 Jackson. Nobody put it on a stamp. It sat in motor pools and rusted, and the crews who froze inside it scattered back to their lives and didn't talk about it much. I kept the shell casing, one round, the one from December 23rd, the one that killed a king tiger at 2,800 yards. I brought it home in my duffel bag, put it on the mantelpiece. My granddaughter put tulips in it. I let her, because that's what the casing is for now. It held death once. Now it holds flowers. And I think that's about right. So I'm telling you this. You, whoever's listening, you don't need to be the biggest. You don't need to be the toughest. You don't need to be the most famous. You need to be precise. You need to see the problem before it sees you. And you need to reach it from a distance it thinks is safe. The king tiger weighed 70 tons. The M36 weighed 29. The tiger had 8 inches of frontal armor. We had 1. But we had range, and range won. Every family photograph on that mantelpiece exists because a thin-skinned tank with no roof and a long gun kept the men in those photos alive long enough to come home and have families. The shell casing stays where it is, between the wedding and the uniform, where it belongs.